Well, we are at the beginning of one of the largest generational wealth transfers in U.S. history. Roughly $70 trillion of assets expected to transfer down from baby boomers by the year 2042, leaving many speculating over the impact to the ag market. Well, CEO of National Land Realty, our good friend Ronnie Richardson, joins us with the latest on this. And first of all, so great to have you in the studio. First trip to Nashville is what Ronnie told me. So this is a quick trip for you, but what do you think so far?
I like it so far. This is the very first time I've been here, and I couldn't believe how many bars and restaurants there were on Music Row coming in here.
We kind of play that on the down low a little bit, and people realize that. Well, I have to talk about, of course, I'm going to have you break this down for us. How much, when we talk about these transferable assets, how much of that is real estate?
It's you know, the experts tell us that roughly $24–25 trillion of real estate is going to change hands within the next 10 years. And, you know, it's unbelievable that I don't want to believe that my assets are going to go to somebody else. But one day the sun's going to come up and the deed to my house is going to be in somebody else's name. And the deed to somebody's farm, no matter how long they've owned it, is going to be in somebody else's name. And, you know, it reminds me, I'm really glad we're talking about this. It reminds me of my buddy. I told you this story earlier. I mean, he's 70 years old, and he was on a tractor a couple of weeks ago, felt a pain in his back, and 6 days later he passed away.
Jeez,
and he had 8,000
wow.
acres of farmland, and he had no estate plan. So his estate tax bill today is roughly $15 million. So we're going there and start liquidating the farmland to pay his estate tax bill. And it reminds me of what I saw on the door of Muscagny Wealth Management in Clinton, Mississippi. It said, everybody's got an estate, everybody don't have a plan. Yeah. And that's a true story. So important to get that plan in place right now. Yes, ma'am. If they don't already. That's scary stuff to think about your friend and the loss there. Of course, he's leaving some family behind, and it's devastating. It's very devastating, and he's going to, and it doesn't make us whole at National Land Realty to go there and sell his property for a real estate commission. Real estate's a small portion of what we do, but estate planning and holding on to assets and transferring those assets correctly is what we do. I would feel much better if I had sat down with him and gone through an estate plan and put that farm in a trust or put a conservation easement on it or something to help him hold on to that land. Just devastating. I want to switch gears from the people that are on the receiving end of this. When we talk about family inheriting not only the land, but maybe a large sum of money as well. We talk about, you know, having an estate plan in place. What about those receiving? How long should they start thinking about inheritance and making a plan before that inheritance is passed on? Well, I mean, they should start having conversation with their parents right now. If their parents own a farm, they should be having those conversations and getting prepared, looking at putting it in a trust or a family trust or, I mean, there's a million ways you can go right now while you're still alive. And so they need to start having that conversation today. You know, something I do want to point out, you know, we talk about, of course, you know, our farmers kind of starting to age, right, and aging out of this process. They're looking for less management-intensive assets, especially with real estate. Talk about how they go about doing that, making that transition. You know, one of the main things that we do when we start consulting with a client is talk about what is their plan? What do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do with your farm? And if the plan is, I'd like to live on my farm for the rest of my life, and I want to preserve as much of the assets as I can, we will start advising them and start looking at some Delaware statutory trust or some other rental income, but selling the farm maybe and 1031ing that money somewhere else that's safe. Wow, that's great information, Ronnie. I know a lot of people watching right now. You're located in Mississippi, but you can help a lot of people across the board. Yeah. We have about 425 agents around the United States, and the biggest thing we talk about weekly is education. We want our agent to be the most educated agent that somebody talks to when it comes to their farm. Where can they get a hold of you? At nationalland.com. That is the place to go. It's fun having you in the studio, by the way. You want to do this again? Thank you so much for hosting us. I love it. National Land Realty, of course, Ronnie Richardson. Always a pleasure to have him on the air with us, but especially in the studio.